What's up, everybody? tkanddrinks coming at you again with another episode of the Honest Mead Review. If you don't know what that is, that's me. I'm your host, TK. I'm an aspiring BJCP mead judge. About once every week or so, I pick up a bottle of mead from somewhere around the country, give it a review on my channel as practice for joining the BJCP and just to experience all the different mead flavors that the world has to offer. So be sure to do all the follow stuff and all that crap if you want to stay up to date on the tkanddrinks mead content. But a few weeks back, I was up in Seattle on a little vacation thing with the family and had the chance to stop by Mr. B's Meadery in Soto, south of downtown there in Seattle, and pick up a bottle of his collab rose with raspberry blossom honey mead called the Birds and the Bees. Now you notice that this bottle is looking a little bit ratchet. I had this sit in a cooler. It label got all soggy and stuff like that, which happens when you're camping sometimes. So don't let the label fool you. It's actually still got a decent product inside, actually with a little caveat on that as well. In transportation, bringing it down from Washington, it did jostle open somehow, I'm assuming because of pressure coming through the mountains and whatnot. But so it just watch the review. You'll see what I'm talking about. But otherwise, don't let any of that, the looks and all that stuff, deter you from trying something you might not otherwise get to experience, because this rose and raspberry mead is definitely something you're going to want to experience. So, like I said, this is a collab between Mr. B's Meadery, ran by Brandon Eller there in Soto, and they just opened up a new spot in Fremont as well, there in just north of Seattle proper. And again, this is made in collab with BlackBird, who I believe is an incense, candles type of place. They sell all sorts of stuff, and they got Brandon some rose petals. And actually, if there's I did an interview with Brandon earlier this week, so if you want to go check that out, he goes more into who they are and what they're doing. But anyway, so we got rose petal and raspberry blossom honey collab. But you know what we can do, even though it's all ratchet and twisted up? Let's go ahead and get a slow pour going on. Alright, well, hopefully that came out well, but it was bursting with rose petal aroma, natural rose aroma. As soon as I started pouring, actually once I popped the bottle, that rose is just right in your face. Now it's a very natural rose aroma. It reminds me of like walking through my grandma's garden. Like, she always had roses growing around her house and whatnot. And I just remember distinctly the fragrance of roses. And this reminds me of that. It doesn't come across like pulpery. Now I don't mind the pulpery. I don't want to make it sound like pulpery is a terrible thing. I mean, I understand what it does and everything, but like, you don't want that to be like an aroma of something you're getting ready to drink. Like, at no point have I ever wanted to eat potpourri. It smells like it's supposed to be like incense, the same thing. Like, it smells wonderful, but at no point do I want to eat something that smells like that. This aroma of rose coming off of there is very much makes me want to take a drink of it. Makes me want to imbibe the nature that it comes from. It makes me want to take a walk through the rose garden, so to speak. Now, there's a little bit of heat on the back end of that from the alcohol, and that could be from my mishandling during transportation. I don't know, so that's one of the things I want to get another bottle of and check out and do a comparison, this one versus that one. But other than that, you can get a slight bit of the raspberry in there as well. Comes across a little tart at the end. I don't know if I'd be able to nail that without knowing that it was raspberry, but I would definitely pick up a tartness on the back end. So let's get a quick look at the old visuals on it. Maybe a tiny slight bit of haze to it. Super strong legs, if you can see those tearing down all around there. Get a better look at that here. It's just running everywhere. So super strong legs on that. Tells me it's probably going to be a sweeter leaning mead, or at least have a sweeter leaning flavor profile to it. I would call that an extra white color, probably leaning towards a pinkish hue to it. I would imagine that amount of rose petals would probably do that. I'm assuming that they were red rose petals as well. It could have been other colors, but I'm guessing that they were red. So all that given, no carbonation, no bubbles, looking pretty good on there. Let's give it the old taste. Now again, that that very heavy rose flavor comes across right up front, smacks you, hangs around. It's got a pretty memorable mouthfeel to it. That rose flavor hangs around for quite a while, good 5, 6, 7 seconds before it starts fading away. Medium to medium full body on it. It's got some nice weight to it on your palate. Weighs it down a little bit. Not cloying, not syrupy, but it's definitely got a full figured. That's a full figured mead if I did have to say so myself. Again, the rose flavor is nice. It tastes exactly like you would want a rose to taste. It doesn't taste like potpourri. It doesn't taste like perfume. It doesn't taste like. It's got a hint of rose water, I believe he made in with it as well. And it's got, I guess that's it. I'm picking up some of that, but I really don't care for a lot of rose flavored products. I usually get the rose flavor ratio wrong, and it's always really heavy rose and not just not a desirable mix. But this one really is. But this one really is balanced well. I dig the balanced acidity, the sweetness for something this sweet. Yeah, no carbonation in it. Carbonation might actually help it pop a little bit, help it sparkle and brighten up. I think that would take it to the next level, honestly. But like I said, it tastes like rose. It's edible. It's delectable. It doesn't taste like potpourri. It doesn't taste like perfume. It doesn't taste like extract or anything like that or artificial. It tastes very nice. So seeing how I've had this one opened a little bit and had the sample and stuff, I've already had taken the liberty of filling out that score sheet. We're hitting this guy off with a 37, again with the caveat for everything that I've mentioned before. I give it a 7 out of 10 on the bouquet and aroma. It's heavy on that rose, with a hint of rose on the back end, the slight tang or tartness from the raspberry in there. A heat from alcohol. Now I docked at points for that because it's not desirable and I don't really care for it myself. But again, that's why I put the caveat in there, because that very well could be my own fault. So I'm trying to be as technical and fair as possible in that regard. Appearance, 6 out of 6. Perfectly, like I said, extra white with a hint of pink in there, probably from those rose petals. No carbonation in there. You can shake it up and get some bubbles in there, but nothing beyond the pour or anything like that. Very leggy, strong legs. Lots of residual sugars appearing to be left over there. 17 out of 24 on the flavor. Again, the flavor is done well. It's just that I'm not a huge rose fan, so I'm not going to dock it any points for anything like that. But again, there's alcohol present in there. Could be from my mishandling of the mead. So again, the caveat does come into play. Again, overall impression, 7 out of 10. I say carbonated a little bit, which I believe he actually does have a carbonated version, or at least did at the time of the when he released this mead. So if you get a chance to try that carbonated one, I think that might be a little bit fuller of an experience. But overall, again, 7 out of 10. My mishandling probably docked at points here and there, but 37 out of 50. So definitely scope yourself out. A trial of one of these, go in, get a sampling if he's got one, and get a bottle pour or something. Or pull the trigger like I did and just go home blind with it and see what happens. You know, obviously you can see how much of for somebody who doesn't drink rose, I've pretty much almost killed the whole bottle here since I've got it. I'll have it done tonight. But so overall, I dig it, and I dig Brandon. He's a cool dude. Had a great time with his doing that interview with him. Had a cool time up at his Meadery, having a flight up there. It's called like the Flight of the Rainbow Flight or something like that. It was like 15, 20, 25 different meads. I think I lost count of how many boards kept coming out. It was ridiculous. But definitely a cool spot to go check out. It's got a new tasting room up there in Fremont. Hit him up down there in Soto. Hit him up on all the social media. Mr. B's Meadery, pretty recognizable logo as you can see here on the screen. So yeah, hit him up. Follow him on all his stuffs. Hit me up. Follow me on all my stuffs. Do all that things. And yeah, so I'll see you on my next episode. We got some more interviews coming up. We got more mead food pairing videos coming up in the near future. More mead reviews as well. And of course, the tkanddrinks Patreon experience, which is constantly under remodel, but we are getting that tuned up for rocking and rolling for the final step of tkanddrinks, the next generation. So thanks for being here tonight, everybody. Have a good night. Peace.